Today I'm going to show you how to use Lil Dipper in Premiere Pro to duck your music tracks. First, let's see the plugin in action, and then I'll back up and show you how it all works.
At the heart of Wild Planet is reverence for the marine ecosystem, really for the whole planet. And that's where the name Wild Planet came from.
From ocean waves to grocery aisles, Wild Planet is redefining sea to shelf.
Okay, cool. You can hear in this sequence that my music is getting dipped against both this voiceover and this dialogue. I'm going to go back to the top and I'm going to toggle the plugin on and off so you can hear the difference.
At the heart of Wild Planet is reverence for the marine ecosystem, really for the whole planet. And that's where the name Wild Planet came from.
From ocean waves to grocery aisles, Wild Planet is redefining sea to shelf.
Cool. Okay, you'll also see that I have some more music coming in on a different track down here, and that's also going to get dipped. Let's check it out.
And so our desire at Wild Planet is to preserve that.
And preservation starts at the pole with sustainable fishing.
The selection process for...
So you'll notice that some of the key parameters here are synced between these two plugins, and that's optional with this param sync button.
That requires...
I think it's pretty cool how little effort it took to get the music levels in shape here. I didn't do any rubber banding or any chop and drops on the tracks. I just let Lil Dipper do its thing.
Pole and line fishing for tuna.
Let's back up and I'll show you how easy it is to get everything up and running. This is the same sequence with the music removed as well as the plugins in the track mixer. We're going to start by adding sends to our voiceover and to our dialogue. That's going to be send 1, and this one is going to auto-assign to send 2. Cool. It's important that I clarify the send 1 and send 2 thing here. You can have a maximum of 4 sends and 4 receives in each sequence. They're all going to the same shared buffer, but in order for Lil Dipper to function correctly on both playback and export, they need to be different numbers. If everything's sounding good in your sequence on playback and then in export the ducking's not sounding correctly, you may have duplicate assignments on your sends or receives. If you add the plugin from this drop-down menu, each new instance will auto-assign correctly. This will be send 3. However, if you drag and drop copies from one track to another, you'll see it's a duplicate. This is easily fixed by just going into the mini mixer right here and switching it to send 4. Just make sure they're different. We don't need send 3 and send 4 in this particular sequence. Let's take a look at the interface for the send. It's fairly minimal. You can change the assignment up here. And this is a simple noise gate. If you hit play, you're going to see levels on this.
And it is reverence for the marine ecosystem, really.
Assess the background noise and adjust accordingly. The reason this is here and why it's important is you don't want ducking to occur on background noise, only on dialogue or voiceover. Adjustments to the noise gate won't change the sound on the send tracks at all. It only modifies what goes into Lil Dipper's send buffer. It's not usually necessary to mess with this, but it's here for fine-tuning if you need it. Next, we'll quickly add our receives on our 2 music tracks. Same deal on assignments as I explained on the sends. You can see on the mini mixer it assigned receive 4 and receive 1. That'll work just fine because they're different. Let's open up the interface. The default settings here are a great starting point. So let's start auditioning some music. I find that most needle drop music comes in pretty hot. You can see the waveforms here. So I like to go ahead and batch adjust the gain. Let's do -12. Cool. All right. Let's throw some stuff on here.
At the heart of Wild Planet is reverence for the marine ecosystem, really for the whole planet. And that's where the name...
I like having Lil Dipper on my tracks before I start throwing music into a sequence because I can really get a quick idea of whether the music's working without doing any mixing. Let's audition a few more tracks.
At the heart of Wild Planet.
To get the music to a good starting level, I have hotkeys for volume. My brackets are plus minus 3 dB.
From ocean waves to grocery aisles, Wild Planet is
At the heart of Wild Planet is reverence for the marine ecosystem, really for the whole planet. And that's where the name Wild Planet came from.
From ocean waves to...
Cool. Let's go with this one for now. So let's talk about the receives interface a little more. The three most important controls are amount, attack, and release. Amount is pretty self-explanatory, so let's talk attack and release. Attack is how quickly you want the ducking to occur. The smaller the number, the faster the attack. Release is the speed at which your signal returns to unity gain after ducking. Let's play around with this a little bit. I'm going to mute my voiceover and my dialogue tracks, but they're still going to fill the send buffer because in Premiere, these are pre-fader by default. That means that they're going to do their thing before the slider and before the mutes. Let's crank the amount so you can really hear the ducking. I just want it to be exaggerated for the purposes of this demo. You can hear it doing its thing. Okay, let's try a really slow attack, just to hear the difference. Cool. Let's put this back to default and try a really fast release. You can hear this sounding a bit jumpy. The release is just too fast. That's why the default is 400. It's just a good starting point, but I do adjust these settings a lot during edit. It really depends on if the ducking is sounding too noticeable. That's when I'll start to futz with these. The threshold is the level coming from the send buffer at which ducking will occur. Again, the default here is a great starting point. I don't find myself messing with this a lot, but it is here for fine-tuning if necessary. If your ducking is not sounding right after adjusting the main three parameters, this is going to be your next stop. If your dialogue is especially soft and ducking's not happening, just bring this down a little bit. And if your release is feeling a little too late, maybe notch it up a hair. Lastly, we have param sync, which I mentioned earlier. Punch this on, and any receives that have it activated will sync up on amount, attack, release, and threshold. Ah yes, there is a gotcha though. So, let me show you. So you notice that this second music track doesn't have any audio in it yet? You just need to have audio in your tracks for it to sync up. We'll throw something in. See, now they're syncing up because it has audio.
Pole with sustainable fishing.
The selection process for a qualified fisherman for a Wild Planet product.
That's a wrap on this sequence. I would like to mention an alternative workflow in the case that you need more than 4 sends or receives.
At the heart of Wild Planet is reverence.
You can use Premiere's submix routing for that and apply Lil Dipper on submixes, like this sequence. This method is a little bit more sophisticated, but it's great for large projects, and it provides an easy way to export splits later if that's something you need. I've included a template for this submix workflow in the plugins folder that's downloaded on purchase. Please feel free to use it, duplicate it, change the frame rate, frame size as needed. Get in touch with any questions, lildipperdsp@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.
For tuna.